Hey guys, so today's video is a very simple and easy and quick look that I created. I've been seeing a lot of sort of duochrome, holographic type of looks out there, and it seems to be really popular. A lot of highlighters with that holographic and duochrome finish to them is being released, and everybody seems to really enjoy that. So I was digging through my little box of makeup that I need to use before I toss it out, and one of the products was a duochrome eyeshadow from Buxom, which is part of the Bare Minerals line. It's their newer sort of pressed eyeshadow singles. And so I did that in the inner corner today, and it's a really beautiful shade. It's kind of like a lavender, kind of lilac shade, but when the light hits it, it sort of has that bluish reflex to it, so it's really pretty, very shimmery, very metallic. And what I decided to do was use that in the inner corner just to create a pop of color, because honestly for me, I probably wouldn't use a whole ton of duochrome finish eyeshadows on a day-to-day basis. I like my neutrals. I'm pretty basic when it comes to my makeup every single day. So I decided to kind of do something a little bit fun and different than I normally would do and keep everything else as far as liner and eyeshadow in the crease super easy. I did a little bit more of a dewy skin today, which I'm really loving, and a little bit more of a bronzy cheek. So I hope that you guys will enjoy this look, and if you want to see exactly how to do the entire look, then just keep watching. Alright, so I already have my foundation on, my concealer, brows, and of course the one I already done. So I will link the products that I use for my face down below. We'll do the bronzer, highlight, and blush after the eyes. But I am going to be using some Buxom eyeshadows from Bare Minerals. And yes, I've been using a lot of Bare Minerals because it's just what I've been into lately. I also wanted to use these eyeshadows that you can create. This is the actual palette on the outside, so you can get a look for what it is when you go to create your own. I did mine at Ulta. You can also, I believe, do it at Sephora. And you can pick just random colors. This palette itself was in my little box of makeup to use or get rid of. So I'm going to see how much I can use out of these before I move in the next couple months. Okay. So to start this look off, I'm going to take my Sigma E25 brush, and I'm going to take an eyeshadow that matches the color of my skin, and I'm going to go over my lids because I use a little bit of concealer. So I want to make sure that the concealer is nice and set so that I don't have any creasing or any separating that will happen with my natural oils and the concealer underneath the powder eyeshadows. Then I'm going to switch to a Morphe M441 brush, which is a really big fluffy brush that can apply color into the crease and also make it easier and faster because it's a quite large size crease brush. And I'm going to use a light color, and I will list the ones that I'm using in the description box. But I'm going to go in with a light color like this, so it's a very soft light tan. It's not too cool and it's not too warm, so something kind of neutrally. And I'm just going to add some depth and dimension because I don't want to leave the crease area bare, even though you totally could. But I just want to add a little something there. And to slightly deepen up the crease just a little bit, just a touch, and you could definitely go more or less with this, depends on your personal preference, but I'm going to go in with a color that's a few shades darker. So this is what I have in my crease, and then I'm going into something like this, so you guys can have a bit of a visual of the tones that I'm using. Tapping off the excess and just applying this primarily on the outer part of the eye, and then just blending this into the inner corner or the inner part of the eye. And then I'm going back in with that same Sigma E25 brush that I used to apply the skin tone color eyeshadow, and I'm going to go over everything to make sure everything is blended and that there aren't any areas that look a little bit darker and uneven. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to take the same colors as well. I'm actually just going to go back and forth into both of the shades and sort of mix them together and add a little bit of definition to the lower lash line as well. And a pencil style brush is actually a really good tool to use for this step here. So it adds a little bit of something under the lower lashes without being too crazy. Going back in with that same crease brush, I just wiped it off on a tissue. I'm going to look up and make sure that I get right underneath there and soften out any harsh lines. So now for the fun part, which I think is probably the best part, is the really bright kind of duochrome eyeshadow. It's like a lavender lilac kind of shade, but then it has a bluish reflex to it, and it's called Lavish. And it's really, really pretty, and that's what I'm wearing just in the inner corner, and I'm using a detail brush. This is just an accent brush from Real Techniques. And I'm going to take just a little bit of that into the inner corner. I'm going to tap off the excess. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in this innermost portion here, typically where you would put your inner corner highlight. And then I'm going to start sweeping it into those colors on the lower lash line. And I'm not going to go in too far either. I'm just going to kind of keep it relative to that inner corner area here. And then I'm also going to start bringing it up onto the lid, but I'm only going to do it right in this inner portion of the lid. I'm not going to come up onto the actual lid. Apply it to this inner corner here and here. So basically kind of like a C shape, following the natural shape of your eye. And then I'm going to wipe off that brush, and then I'm going to just do feather light strokes just to kind of soften that line so it blends into the lid. Even though there's not much on the lid, it's just going to be more blended. Now you could definitely foil this with some Smashbox primer water. If you have some basic eye drops as well, you can dampen your brush with that and then kind of foil the shadows to create more of a metallic feel to it, and you definitely could do that. You don't have to have specific eyeshadows. If you have a highlighting palette that has some duochrome colors to it or holographic looks to it, then you can definitely use those products around the eyes as well. And so now all I need to do is add a little bit of eyeliner. I'm going to tightline first with the Bobbi Brown eyeliner in black. And then I'm going to go in with the liquid liner. The one that I'm really enjoying at the moment is the Grandiose liner from Lancome. This is the one that you can actually bend the cap, which is pretty cool, very unique. And I'm just going to do a simple line. It's going to be really thin as it comes towards that purple duochrome. And then it's going to get just a little bit thicker on the outer portion. Wear your liner any which way that you like. Winged, no liner, lashes, go for it. Alright, so now that the liner is done, I need to add some mascara. I finally decided to use the Maybelline Rocket Volume again. I opened it up and I used it. It usually gets a little bit better after it's been open for about a week or two. So I kind of mixed just a little bit of the Tarte over it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara on the lower lashes. Alright, so now I have to finish the face and add some color, and I definitely need it. I'm looking a little pale. So I decided to bust this out. This is the Tartiest Contour Palette from Tarte, and it has pretty much everything that you need to do bronzing, contouring, and yes, it's a little dirty, but I do really like this. The highlight in it doesn't really show up very well. It doesn't have much of shimmer, so it's a really good palette. If you like to travel a lot, something like this could be a good idea to have. So anyways, I'm going to go in with this lighter shade here out of the two kind of bronzy tones, and I'm going to use that to add a little bit of color to my skin, just to kind of warm up my complexion a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is take just a little bit of that light kind of mauve-y pink color. I'm going to just do a little touch of that right on the apples of the cheek. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, now for highlighter, I also busted this out as well. This is the Skin Twinkle palette. I know that they recently came out with a new one. This is by Tarte, by the way. This is what this one looks like, but I think the newer one has a few more colors, which I think is probably a better buy because you get different tones. But I'm going to use this because I remember I used to love this so much. And so, oh, this is like so buttery and smooth. So I think I'm going to go with a bit, whoa. Let's tap this off. I'm using the fan brush from Eco Tools. And I'm just going to lightly dust this. Oh yeah, that's so pretty. This freaking hair. This is why I don't wear my hair down. That is so pretty. Yes. Love this. Right above the brown. Oh yeah, that is really pretty. So if you can get your hands on the Tarte highlighters, they're really, really pretty. Alright, so for lips, I changed my mind. I was going to do a Jouer Longwear lipstick, but the shade that I was looking for ended up looking a little too pink. So I tried to wipe some of it off. I'm going to just go in with my Tarte Glossy Lip Paint in the shade Obvi, and I realized I'm using a lot of Tarte products. Not sponsored, just in case I was wondering, but I don't know why I'm smelling this. So I just kind of sheared that out a little bit just to create a bit of a tint on my lips, not so much like super glossy and super out there, because I really wanted to do a bit of a kind of softer matte lip, but it didn't work out with the Jouer. Alright guys, so that completes the look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it kind of inspired you to try using some color. I know it's definitely looking so much better outside as far as weather is concerned where I live. It's been really dark, very gloomy, been completely uninspired, so the sun is out and I thought let's do something easy but with a little pop of something special. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this look as much as I did, and if you want to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe so that you get the new videos. Thank you so much for spending some of your day here with me today. Thank you so much for being you and for being so supportive, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.